Here are our favorite fall whiskeys.
Hi, I'm Jonathan.
Hi, I'm Taryn, and welcome to Whiskey Break.
Today we're going over our top 10 whiskeys that we'll be sipping this fall. So yeah, once it gets a little bit cooler out and you want something a little cozy, we have the list just for you. We've got bourbons, ryes, finished whiskeys.
Something for everyone.
Exactly. A lot of these are really available. And so I think let's just get right into the list.
Yeah, let's do it.
First up, we have Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof Rye.
Yes, so when I think of this bottle, it is the quintessential fall whiskey. It is so good. If you haven't tried it before, it drinks so warm. It's obviously very hot, very high proof, but it's campfirey, it's toasty. It's just, you got that warmth with that, like kind of smokiness that, you don't get in a lot of ryes. So this is just a bottle that I know I will be drinking in this season, and you guys might want to reach for as well.
Yeah, when these first came out, at least in our area, they were really hard to find for a little bit. We got lucky, we got a couple bottles, but now they've kind of flooded the market.
Yes.
We found them everywhere. We see them go on sale as low as $50.
Yeah.
And that's just insane to us. Even at the retail of $65, it's hard to find a better value for a barrel proof rye. And it's very unique, like you said.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like your normal rye. If you're normally a bourbon drinker, I think this is the perfect time to go out and try a bottle of this.
Yes, rave reviews on this one. Love it. Our next fall bottle is RD1 Amberana finish.
Yeah, this is a new bottle to us this year, pretty new release in our area, and it's quickly become my favorite fall whiskey. It's what I think of. I think of apple, cinnamon, pie.
It's like a Starbucks drink.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, if you've seen any reviews on it, it does smell and taste as crazy as it sounds. It just jumps out of the glass. It's Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal, Apple Jacks. All those descriptions are right on point. And I think if you have it in your area, you've been thinking about it, this is, again, a great time of year to pick it up. If you find out that you aren't a fan of Amberana from this bottle, at least you'll have an incredibly unique experience. And it's a very shareable bottle. It's 110 proof, but this is still one that you can give to people that are new to whiskey just because all those notes jump out of the glass.
Yes, it is so intense, so good. I totally agree with Jonathan. This is a great pick.
Yeah, still a little hard to find in our area, but when we do find it, it's anywhere in that 60-ish range. I think it's totally worth that.
If you're enjoying the video, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that kind of good stuff. Let's get back into it.
Next up, Russell's Reserve Single Barrel Store Picks.
Yes, if you want a tried and true bottle and you love the wild turkey profile, this is obviously going to be a great choice. This bottle in particular is extremely cinnamon heavy. It is probably one of the only bottles that we've had from Wild Turkey products that is this intense with cinnamon. So it's going to warm you right up, give you those cozy vibes. But yeah, it's just a good pick.
Yeah, if you like just the standard bourbon profile, you like a lot of oak, cinnamon, as you mentioned, this is fantastic. This is a Camp Nelson pick that we picked up recently, and it definitely takes all those notes to a 10 or 11.
Yes, very intense, very flavorful.
The other warehouses are still in that same profile, but Camp Nelson, I feel like, bumps it up an extra notch. And yeah, this is probably the least crazy bottle on our list. It is just a bourbon. It's not finished with anything crazy or anything like that, but if that's what you're looking for, this is probably the best fall bourbon.
The next bottle we have is Redwood Empire Devil's Tower. This is a bottle that will probably be on a lot of my lists in the future. It is maybe not slowly, but fastly becoming one of my favorite bottles of all time. And I mean, it's telling. We love this bottle so much, and it's perfect for fall because we think it tastes like apples. Apples is so prevalent in this bottle. Apples, maybe a little bit more stone fruit, peaches, all that kind of good stuff. It's just so delicious, and I can't express how much I love this bottle. It's so good.
Yeah, it's one of those bourbons that you look at the label again, you're like, are you sure this isn't finished? It feels like apple brandy or something, some kind of finish. It's just fantastic. This is a batch 1, which are getting pretty hard to find, but we've just seen batch 2s are starting to drop. Haven't tried it yet, but we're pretty sure it'll be worth the pickup. We trust at Redwood Empire, and anything this match bill, it's just amazing, perfect for this time of year.
So good. I want a single barrel so bad.
Our next pick is Blue Note Rye Honey Cask.
Yes, this is a new bottle for us. We just picked this up. It is a brand new offering from Blue Note, so we're excited to see it, and it mixes two of my favorite things in the entire world, honey and rye. So I obviously had to pick it up. It was something that I immediately told Jonathan that we needed to buy, and I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, this bottle was really good. It had maybe not as much honey as I would expect, but it was very fruit forward and had a little bit of floralness, but yeah, just overall a really good bottle, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, like we said, it is a new release. It might have been a little bit of a limited release from them. We don't normally get Blue Note in our area.
Yeah.
So that online drop was really our only chance, but it was only like $65.
Yes.
Totally fair.
And it is the closest bottle that I've ever had to Barrel Seagrass, which is obviously one of my favorite bottles of all time.
Yeah, very peach forward. A lot of those light, fun fruits. While still, it's still definitely a rye. You get a lot of that like rye spice and everything. It's not like the honey just turns it into like a crazy flavor sweetness.
And it's not very sweet, I would say.
But we really like it. If you kind of want just a little bit of that rye spice around this time of year, but want to keep it a little fruity, this is kind of threads that needle perfectly.
Definitely. Next fall pick is Old Forester 100 Proof Rye.
Yeah, going from a few allocated, hard to find bottles to about as budget as it gets, screw top and all. If you've seen some of our other list videos, this makes its way onto a lot of them. And I think that's just because it's one of our, if not our favorite bottle under $30, period. Taryn's more of a rye girl. I'm more of a bourbon guy. But even I can admit this bottle is fantastic, and it just works for everything.
It's so versatile, and I always get maple on this, and I think that's the perfect, fall flavor. And you can use it for everything, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's an incredibly sweet rye. So if you're a bourbon guy and you're, not sure about wanting to get into the rye side, I think this is the perfect bottle to do it with. And it's just so cheap. You really have no excuse not to.
Yes.
So if this is not on your shelf yet, just go out and grab it. It's literally like, we got this $28 for the whole liter. Our next fall recommendation, 1792 Sweet Wheat.
This is a bottle that fully took me by surprise. This is something we started with in the beginning of our journey through whiskey, bourbon, all that kind of good stuff. It is a wheated bourbon, and we are traditionally, we've said this in many videos, not huge wheated bourbon fans. But this bottle, it just hits. It's so good.
Yeah, it for us is extremely peanut forward, but in a little bit of a different way. It's very like roasted peanuts, peanut shells, and I think it's pretty low proof, but it still hits that like warming quality that you look for this time of year. This can be a pretty hard bottle to find, and it's definitely not worth the crazy secondary prices. So if you still want something in this general profile, we'd recommend going with something from the Jim Beam Distillery, Knob Creek 9, 12-year, Booker's. Make your favorite pick, but we tend to like this just a little bit better than that Jim Beam profile because it's a little less heavy on the straight peanut butter. It's a little more elevated.
In our profile, Our next fall pick is Sagamore Double Oaked Rye.
We've said it a few times already, but this is a quintessential bottle that deserves to be on every fall whiskey list. And I think it just totally deserves that spot. It's got everything you want. It's got the rye spice, the warmth. It's got a little bit of that sweetness, a lot of the oak, just a lot of really dark, rich flavors. It's about 96 proof, but I think it drinks a little above that in a good way, just like flavor-wise. It's,
It's packing,
Yes, exactly. And it's just fantastic, especially this time of year.
Yes, and we're huge Sagamore fans, and this bottle really lives up to that double oaked.
Yes.
It is so intense and so flavorful, And we just love Sagamore and their products. I mean, it's a great bottle.
Yeah, it's part of their core lineup. I feel like it's what gets a lot of people into Sagamore because there's really not a lot of double oaked ryes readily available on the market. And it's just a really unique profile. I think ryes do that double oaking really well.
Yeah.
And you should be able to find this for about $65. And again, there's not really anything better at that price point for this profile. Next up, Peerless Double Oak Bourbon.
Yes, so we talked about double oaked rye, but now let's get into double oaked bourbon. And this beat out so many contenders for my favorite double oak bourbon. This is such a good bottle. It's delicious. It is barrel proof, so it drinks really strong, really flavorful, and it just has so much going on. That campfire, you get hit with that oak. It's just, it's such a good bottle.
It's really good. It's not for the faint of heart. It's definitely, it's
intense.
only about 108, 110 at barrel proof, but it drinks just like a 125 barrel proof whiskey. It's got everything Terrence said. These used to be really hard to find, really allocated, and they're still not the easiest bottle to find, but they are dropping a lot more. I think the batches are getting a lot bigger, a lot better releases, and you should be able to find a bottle for about $80, $85. And I think out of all those Peerless offerings, this is the one to go for. This is at least where you should start.
Yeah, I think this is a great bottle if you want to get into double oak, but maybe have only tried, the Woodford Reserve and you want to get something a little bit more intense. And last but not least, we have Jack Daniel's 10-year.
We're ending the list with a bang. We know this is a crazy hard to find bottle, but we just think it's fantastic. It's one of our favorites of the year, particularly mine. This is just right up my alley. It's the exact profile I'm looking for. It's got all those banana bread, banana notes that Jack Daniel's is known for, but it's got a lot of the char backing it up and it just kind of rounds it out in a really good way.
Yeah, it makes me feel so cozy, so homey. There's something about it. I think it's that banana bread, like Jonathan was saying. It just makes me feel at home and it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. And I just love it.
Yeah, the 97 proof is perfect on it. It's got everything it needs. If you can find this bottle for up to $150, that's probably the most we'd be willing to pay. We think it's worth it. It's just fantastic. You're going to really enjoy it this time of year. If you can't find it, Jack Bonded gets you most of the way there. It's still got all those banana bread notes that we like from Jack Daniel's, but without all the char and the little bells and whistles on it.
Yeah, both good options, and if you can find this for a reasonable price, go out and get it. And that rounds out our fall whiskeys list. I hope you guys really liked that. We loved putting that together. It was really fun. I think Jonathan in particular really loves, the fall flavors, so that's really cool. Obviously, tell us what you guys like to drink during fall, and
just like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you back right here next Monday.